So Roku Brand Studio was launched earlier this year with the goal of creating advertiser built experiences and content for streaming and for the Roku platform. Obviously, the Roku platform is a incredibly robust and powerful platform for advertisers in terms of running their traditional 30-second spots. The goal of my group is to figure out how to take those advertisers beyond the 30-second spot. And we can do that in a number of different ways. We have brand experiences where we curate content, or we find ways to create a better user streamer journey and have the advertiser be a part of that. Giving content for free to those people, like a free download or something like that. So those are some of the experiences that we can create for the audience. And then obviously branded content is a really powerful way to engage our audience as well. There's a number of ways you can do that, and the Brand Studio is interested in all sorts of different form factors, as you say, to reach that audience. It can be longer form TV quality content where we collaborate with an advertiser to create content and then distribute that content to our audience in the Roku channel, our streaming channel, and promote it across the entire Roku ecosystem. Or it can be shorter form stuff that would show up while someone is streaming content, things that may show up in traditional video inventory, but are really designed to surprise and delight that audience. So we're interested in all sorts of different ways to take those advertisers beyond the 30-second spot on the Roku platform.
So what kind of advertisers, or what are their expectations around branded on Roku, and how do they determine investment and if it's right for them? And of course, all brands have different expectations, but tell us about sort of that conversation, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously every brand has different priorities when it comes to any given year or campaign. What I can tell you is that in the Roku Brand Studio, we both have both the data and also just the experience that shows us that branded content and brand experiences are going to create more impact with our audience. We did a study recently that showed that when you run your traditional 30-second spot on Roku, but you add brand experiences from the Roku Brand Studio to your media plan, you're going to see a 4x increase in purchase intent. And so that's data that shows us that if you're just running your 30-second spot, you're basically leaving opportunity on the table when it comes to the Roku audience. So that's the data that we have that shows when you combine the video inventory, the video media, with brand experiences and content, you're going to have more impact. And then as somebody who's created branded content for over a decade, I just know it's a more interesting and engaging and impactful way to communicate with an audience. If you can create truly and genuinely entertaining content and invite that audience in to be a part of that, now they're not just watching your ad, they're in your ad. They're part of that ad, so to speak, that advertising experience. And obviously that's going to be more impactful than just seeing an ad show up, in between parts of a TV show as they're streaming.
And Chris, could you just explain, what the studio does? I mean, do you guys have all the production? Do you tell us a little bit about the operations and kind of where it's at now and where it might be going?
Yeah, so the Roku Brand Studio was created back in March by way of a transaction with Funny or Die. I came from Funny or Die. I was there for over 12 years. And we brought with us, as part of that migration over to Roku, all of the people and components and capabilities to create premium branded content. So that includes the creatives, that includes the physical production people, the post-production people. And so we do now have that studio capability in-house to be able to actually collaborate with an advertiser or an agency when it both on the creative side and on the production side when it comes to putting content together. I'll give a recent example of something we just launched last week. we launched a show called The Show Next Door, and that was a collaboration we did with Maker's Mark. It's 6 episodes, 15 minutes each, and it's a celebrity talk show. There's an actor named Randall Park. You might know him from Fresh Off the Boat or WandaVision. He's outstanding and super fun and super funny. And we were able to build a show around him where he gets to interview fun, interesting celebrities. And so that's a full show. That's a show that we created with Maker's Mark. We understood what their brand goals were and their marketing goals were, and how to incorporate their brand and their product into that show. And we produced that show from creative all the way through to post-production, and then distributed that show on the Roku channel. So if you go to the Roku channel, you can find that show, you can enjoy that show. And we're also promoting and marketing that show across the Roku ecosystem. So as you're watching another television or film, or when you go to the home screen and you see that big home screen banner, we'll be inviting our audience to join Randall and Maker's Mark to have some fun within this experience.
And Chris, finally, how do you see sort of creative brand marketing expanding? As we know, it's been around, and but it seems that consumer preferences changed, of course, where they're watching, what they want to watch. What are some of your thoughts about where branded content should go? Advice to creatives and to brands. What are some of your thoughts?
Yeah. So one of the great things about Roku is that it is this very powerful platform. It's a very data-rich platform, and so one of the things that I've really enjoyed about my time here so far is being able to mine that data for insights into our audience and into the streaming audience in general, and we can start to understand what they're watching, what they're liking, and what they're searching for. Even what maybe some of their challenges are in the streaming experience. For example, we had some research done that showed that on average, a streamer is spending more than 7 minutes trying to decide what to watch. You may have a similar experience of that sort of paradox of choice. There are so many great new shows. There are so many things that you've been meaning to watch, and you can almost be paralyzed trying to figure out what to select. And so we identified that as an issue. And what we were able to do is to build a program, a show called Roku Recommends, and collaborate with advertisers and say to our advertisers, hey, look, this is a challenge that we know streamers in general have. Why don't you work with us to help us solve the problem of those streamers and to bring that benefit to our streamers. And so Roku Recommends is a weekly show. It's about 15 minutes per episode. And we have 2 great hosts who break down the top 5 things you should watch that weekend, both the new stuff and those hidden gems that maybe you have always been meaning to watch but have forgotten about, right? And so so this is one of the things that I think differentiate streaming, the future of television, from traditional linear, is that it combines the premium quality and the size of the audience of television, which has always been so powerful for advertisers. It combines that with all of the tools that we have from digital, right? Who's watching? What are they interested in? What data do we have? How can we target the right people? And so I think that as brand marketers are thinking about streaming, I think that understanding the power of that platform, and not just how big the audience is, but how you can gain insights from that audience, and then you can target that audience in really powerful ways. I think that's going to be a big part of what we do going forward with advertisers and streaming, and with branded content and streaming.